see I've got 15 minutes, so I'm not going to have to take 15 minutes, trust me. Listening to everybody else, I'm quite envious of the fact that you've all got research nurses allocated to you. Basically in the GWH, we have a whole remit of research projects in progress, and I looked through them all the other day, and I'm actually the only PI that is not either a consultant or a research nurse. And I think for a stoma care nurse to be up there as a PI at trust level is amazing. I also have to say that my team varies immensely in length of service. I have one nurse that's only been with me for 3 months, and you can guess who's been doing it for 27 years. We had a lot of challenges getting surgeons to sign up for CIPHER. And I have to say, if it wasn't for Jeff Lynn sat there, we may still be struggling now, because they either are or they pretend to be dinosaurs and don't really want to be encroaching on anything new. So I've got a lot to thank Jeff for, so thanks Jeff. So post-operative complications. We all know how, we use the paper format, I have to say, and we all know how it's set up. And, when I said to Neil, will we collect this? We do. We collect all of the data, except for the surgical technique forms. And then, depending on who the operating surgeon is, depends on whether I need Jeff to chivvy them along in theatre, or for him to go in and say, yeah, this is what's been going on. So to actually get doctors, registrars, house officers or whatever with theatre commitments, clinics, and we all know what it's like. We just got a new recruit of junior doctors as well. There's no way that we'd get this completed either in a timely manner or accurately. So, we've been completing all of these sections without any difficulty, I have to say, and the information is already available. A lot of the information with regards to the complications, tick, no. Most of it, that's the way it is. When it comes to CT scans, obviously we've got access to our PAS system, so we're able to look in and document appropriate CT scanning timeframes. What I have to also say is that we don't have the support of a research nurse at any stage in the process. The only people that we have support from are R&I they're called, as opposed to R&D, Innovation Data Manager, and the Research Administrator. So every single solitary thing that we do in relation to CIPHER is down to us as stoma care nurses. And well, as I said, I feel slightly envious of all you guys. I actually think that we have embraced this in its entirety. And we've set up our own system of documentation and what needs to go where, if you like, because we are all paper format, and the R&I do obviously put things onto their own database and onto the CIPHER database. We have to make sure that everything is ending up in the right place at the right time. I have the most wonderful secretary in the world, and basically she's formulated this documentation checklist. So you can see from the checklist what we need and where it needs to go, which is extremely helpful, especially, obviously when you've got, you don't do it, maybe somebody hasn't done it for a few weeks or whatever. So this is how many copies that are needed. What happens with recruitment is patients are sent out the invitation and the patient information letter with their pre-op counselling. We try to see all our pre-op patients at the time of their pre-assessment or round about the same time. And we found by actually sending out that information to them, okay, you'll get some that won't read it, but the majority will read it. And you know, encompassing in this group, obviously, we're including the anterior resections who are plus or minus, and a lot of those may not have stomas, and you're therefore consenting retrospectively. And I have to say they are the majority of our patients, but they're still getting that information ahead of time. We joined CIPHER March this year, I think it was, Hannah, wasn't it? March? Yeah. And we've sent out to 73 patients. And to date we recruited 16, which I think is pretty good going. But what's our challenge? PQIP is our biggest challenge. PQIP is working with the Royal College of Anaesthetists, and basically patients are being sent that information and being asked to be recruited in when they're seen in the pre-assessment clinic. What PQIP does, for those that don't know, is it focuses on pre and perioperative care and also post-op pain. They look at 1 and 7 days and then a year up to 4 years post-op. I've got mixed feedback on this one. Some people are telling me that there's a poor uptake, which could be seen to our benefit, because patients don't want to be reminded of a cancer diagnosis 4 years down the line. You could argue that's the same with CIPHER, but this is looking at more of the complications to stoma formation than the actual diagnosis. However, there are a few patients that are opting to participate in PQIP and decline CIPHER. So, R&I support. As I said, we don't have a research nurse, but they do send us, at the end of every month, a report for all patients that are due their next CIPHER follow-up. So, you know, if we've got one that's due 6-week follow-up, we'll have contacts there of those that are due 6 weeks and those that were coming up for 6 months. So, whilst I know mine, we put our patients on mine, but we can't flag that up on the database. I don't know if anybody else can, but we can't flag that up when their appointments are due. And obviously some of these patients will actually move off of our own pathway onto the CIPHER pathway. So they come and collect, R&I come and collect all the documentation once we've emailed them from our office, and they always collect the same day. So whether it's collection of the surgical data or whether it's collection of the complications, discharge, etc., they always come and collect it on the same day, and all of the information is then entered onto their own database, or the trust owned database, which is EDGE, and the CIPHER database. And it works very well. Our CIPHER participation is something that I wasn't aware of, and I did almost get my knuckles wrapped for, had to be signed off by our medical director prior to commencement. When everybody was floating around that, oh, it's good to have a research nurse involved in this, I thought, well, yeah, okay, I'll better find out if I can have a research nurse. And I very quickly got an email back pretty much saying, what the hell are you doing? Not letting us know, or not seeking our permission, if you like. Okay. Luckily, the lead R&I manager, her mother was one of our patients. So she embraced the CIPHER study, and we'd already done our GCP, done our CVs, etc. So we were pretty much ahead of the game, and everything moved through quite quickly. But you know, these are all things that I didn't know that had to be organised before we could actually participate. So whilst not a lot of this has gone around the the post-op complications and discharge, I just wanted to give a bit of an overview of, obviously we're doing things a little bit different to the rest of you, and it's really reassuring to see that the Great Western Hospital is in the top 20 of recruitment sites. So thank you very much.